Hi everybody, Dan Illman here, taking a look at the Stronach 5 wager for Friday, January the 24th. It is a $100,000 guaranteed gross pool, a low 12% takeout. Remember that the Stronach 5 has a $1 minimum wager. We'll kick things off with leg A, the final race at Laurel Park on Friday. It's at 5.5 furlongs. It's a $10,000 maiden claimer for 4-year-olds and up. And as always on these Stronach 5 videos, I'm going to give you some ideas, some horses to consider before you make your final determinations. And when it's time for you to place your wagers, please consider using DRFBet's Ticket Maker, the most efficient way to play your multiple race wagers by utilizing Steve Christ's A, B, and C method. I thought there were a couple of vulnerable favorites in this Stronach 5, and perhaps one of them is the number 8, Chuck's Dream, who's 5-2 on the morning line, but something tells me that Chuck's Dream is going to take a lot more money, especially in the Stronach 5. Now listen, Chuck's Dream's 3 races on dirt, Beyer speed figures 67, 84, 83. They tower over this field. If he runs anything close to those numbers, he's going to win by a country mile. But the cause for concern is that we haven't seen this horse in 373 days. And while trainer Lacey Gaudette is excellent off layoffs, this horse is only showing 3 short workouts leading up to this race. Chuck's Dream, if he can remember what he used to be, is certainly the horse to beat. Whether you want to take a short price on him to win or even in the Stronach 5 is a different story. 2 other horses interested me, and the 4 outside the box is a first-time starter. It's always tough to trust these horses, but his sire Bandbox connects with 20% of debut runners. He is a half-brother to 2 debut winners. The Dam won her debut by an 11.5 length margin, and this trainer-jockey combination sent out a debut winner at Laurel back in October. So maybe the 4 outside the box, 8-1 on the morning line, bullet 5 furlong workout on January the 6th. Perhaps he'll be ready if the favorite stubs his toe. And another to consider is the number 6, White Russian. This is a horse that 2 starts back I thought ran very well behind an odds-on winner named Lawn Boy. He was 4 wide pushing the pace in the early portion, ended up second best to that odds-on winner, then came back against tougher $16,000 foes, and I don't really think he cared for the muddy track that day. If he gets fast going on Friday, back down to the $10,000 level, he can push this pace and perhaps get the jump on some of these closers if Chuck's Dream doesn't fire. So the question you have to ask yourselves is what to do with Chuck's Dream off the year-plus layoff. If he comes back running, he's going to win, but there are question marks. Maybe the 4 and the 6 are alternatives at a better price. Leg B of the Stronach 5 is out at Santa Anita. We're going a mile on the turf. It's a maiden special weight for fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up. The 4 Unicorn at 9-5 I think should be used. I don't think she is great at that price, but she just fits off of her turf races where she's never been off the board from 4 lifetime starts, including her most recent race on October the 20th where she split 2 next out winners. The runner-up coming back to win a maiden special at Del Mar with a 74 Beyer speed figure. Unicorn was kind of one-paced when forced 4 wide turning into the stretch that day, finished evenly, but just very competitive Beyer speed figures for Unicorn. I think this horse is a fit, as is the 7 Vegas Palm, a horse that tried dirt last time out, and it didn't work out for her at Los Alamitos. But the prior race on turf, her first start off a very long layoff, was an extremely promising performance, earning a career-best 70 Beyer speed figure. So now it's 3rd start of the form cycle for Vegas Palm. I think she can be close to an expected moderate pace, and I would rather use her than the 6 Saving Sophie, who's the 5-2 morning line favorite. I'm kind of against Saving Sophie, even though she's hit the board in 3 of 4 starts. The 1 start where she was off the board, well, it was her career debut on turf, and while she didn't break well that day going 5 furlongs, I wonder if she is more effective on the main track. So the 2 I'm considering really putting most of my weight on are the 4 Unicorn and the 7 Vegas Palm in leg B. We'll head down to South Florida for the 3rd leg of this week's Stronach 5, $100,000 gross pool guarantee. It's race number 8, and it's 5 furlongs on the turf, an optional claimer, and I was really taken by the number 3, Minute to Win its turf debut most recently. Yes, she dropped in for a $50,000 maiden claiming tag, but in her first start off a 3-month layoff, she just got up right close to the pace and won under the most confident handling possible. She beat 2 next out winners. She is going to be forward again, switching to Jose Ortiz, and she just looks like a good fit in this race. The 5 Norma's Love at 5-2 on the morning line. I'd probably use her as well. Both of her turf races were good. She got hustled hard in the early portion last time out from the inside post to get into a nice pocket position. She eased out into the 2-path, and she just couldn't get to the favorite Queen of Shades that day. This filly has a lot of upside potential, and it looks like she has the tactical speed to work out a trip, stalking Minute to Win It in the early portion. Not sure if I want to use the 6 Miss Lucy. If I have a few extra dollars, maybe I will. This is a filly that I thought had a good trip last time out without excuse at Gulfstream West, but Wesley Ward tends to get the most out of these turf sprinters, and this filly might benefit a little bit from the layoff and, again, the outside draw where she can keep an eye on the 3, the 5, and any other of the inside speeds. I prefer Minute to Win It the 3. Going to use Norma's Love the 5 as a backup. Still thinking about what I'm going to do with the 6. Miss Lucy. Race 3 at Golden Gate Fields is leg D of this week's Stronach 5 wager, and again, we might have one of those vulnerable favorites. The 2 Tex Don't Call's in very good form. She's won 2 out of her last 3 races, but she couldn't have had an easier trip than the one she received on New Year's Day, where she basically beat this entire field. She went to the front and in a 1-mile race set fractions of 26-2, 52-4, 117-3. No surprise she was able to win that race. Something tells me she's going to have to go a little bit faster in this spot, and that could work against her. The 2 horses I'm considering using against her are the 10 Charlie's Bell, who was up against that miserable pace scenario last time out. She was 3 wide, rallying into that slow pace, and still grinded it out to finish second. They're taking the blinkers off. This is not a great post position going a mile at Golden Gate Fields. But maybe the horses coming out of that New Year's Day race are supposed to take a closer that was up against the pace scenario. Charlie's Bell fit the bill. And if you just don't like that race at all, I think the 4 Just Classy is the horse you have to use, taking a substantial drop in class from the non-winners of 1 optional to this 12-5 level. Last time out, just overmatched. The runner-up came back to earn a 63 Beyer speed figure when second in a non-winners of 1 other than. This filly's dropping. I think she has more speed than she showed in her most recent race, and she looks like a great fit at this level. Tex Don't Call is sharp. I'm just not sure she's going to get that same trip at a short price. 2 alternatives to consider are the 4 Just Classy and the 10 Charlie's Bell. We'll complete this week's Stronach 5 wager down at Gulfstream Park for race number 10. Mile and a 16th on the turf. It's a condition claimer for fillies and mares, and you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do with the 2 Music of Life, who I believe will end up favored at post time? Music of Life hasn't been seen since November, so you have to deal with the 2-month layoff, but she's making her first start for Safi Joseph, and it just seems all of Safi Joseph's horses are taking big steps forward at Gulfstream this winter. Music of Life didn't do much last time out, although she had a little bit of trouble, and she's taking a drop from an allowance level. She wouldn't be a surprise at all in this race. I would love to try to beat her with some better priced alternatives, and 3 come to mind. The number 1 Alizé is getting a big drop in class and distance. She tried a 1 1/8 last time out. She saved ground. She came outside. I thought she gave an even finish. And dropping and drawing the inside post, I think, portends for a really good trip for the 1 Alizé, who has the ability to save ground breaking from the inside post. The 4 is With Herself, and With Herself's going to need some pace self, but With Herself is another mare getting a lot of class relief. She was in against Mean Mary last time out, and not only was Mean Mary up close to the pace that day, but Mean Mary's coming back to run on Saturday in the graded La Prevoyante and has a lot of potential for trainer Graham Motion, who handles With Herself. Motion has been on fire all over the country over the last 3 weeks or so, and I think With Herself, offer for a tag for the first time and getting blinkers, maybe even getting the race earlier and still finish with some verve. I think she's usable at 10-1 on the morning line. Strella's War is your morning line favorite, but I think she'll drift up, shipping in from Tampa Bay. This horse was wide last time out in a race without any pace, and I just think that's a difficult trip for any horse. They went 49-3 to the half. She was 4 wide on the backstretch, widest into the stretch. She finished evenly. I think in this condition claiming level, she's a fit. And I think she'll drift off the 5-2 as Music of Life figures to take money for Safi Joseph. The question of the race is, what do you do with Safi Joseph at this point? Do you just blindly bet his horses because they are really improving? And it's not like this filly's a reach. She earned an 80 Beyer 2 starts back, but better priced options include the 1, the 7, and the 8. Stronach 5 on Friday begins with Laurel Park race number 8. It has an approximate post time of 3:49. Remember, $100,000 gross pool guarantee. It's a low 12% takeout, and the minimum wager for the Stronach 5 each week is $1. Best of luck.